days of long ago, created by the cosmic legends of the universe. There stands one man, one great man, a man dedicated to preserving all that is good in pop culture. Loved by few, hated by many. Alone in his fortress of awesomeness, he battles fearlessly against the wolves, the evil, the unjust. To right that which is wrong, to stand for justice, to serve all mankind. He is the one, the only, the Comic Relief Crusader. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 47 of Titillating Tuesday. Enter the Geekosphere. I am your host, the Comic Relief Crusader, and here for another round of mirth and merriment. And you know what? I just realized that seeing how it's like episode 47, God, I'm getting close to like 50 shows, and I don't even know what to plan for the 50th show. But that is okay because you are here, and I want to welcome everybody that's been joining in so far. We got first in here, Killer Rabbit from space. Ooh, he changed his avatar too. Greetings, human. I'll hop on in. Chat closer to showtime. Welcome to you. And we also have Admiral Teague that is in the chat as well. Hello, Admiral Teague. And we got the mighty Christian Delorme. Hello, sir. How's it going? And the one that I've been missing for a long time, we got Penny in the chat. Hello, Penny. I'm glad that you are here. I have missed you in the chat to share your hilarity with others that are here as well. And wow, so I mean we got a great show for you tonight. We got a good show, and let's introduce our panelists that are on today.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits?
And we got Admiral Teague on the panel today. How's it going, Admiral Teague?
That's my intro. Special needs Frankenstein. Okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind when we have you on my show. Hi, everybody. It's your buddy Admiral Teague.
Well, it's the intro for everybody, so
okay.
It's not just you.
The sheriff is near.
Well, there we go. And also joining us is all the way from the East Coast. It's Foggy Brains.
Hello, everybody. We're ready for a really good show.
Yes, we got a really good show here tonight.
Yes.
And it's not even night, it's afternoon, so really good show. And joining us again on the panel, we have the mighty gamer himself, Len Rod. How's it going, dude? Oh! You should be in opera.
Hey there, Lenrod. I didn't get a chance to say hello backstage while I was fixing my broken microphone.
I was only backstage for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I was spending that time swapping out my microphone. Everyone in YouTube land was almost in great luck. I would have had to wait like 3 days to get a new one, but I have two.
You got two mics?
Well, I have one now. I just broke the other one, but I had this. I bought two of the same mic off Amazon, figuring I'd break one. So I'm going to send back the one I just broke because I insured one of them.
Ah, I see.
Now put that thing back where it came from, or so help me!
There you go.
Okay, so as what we usually do to get things started on the show, we share some funny news of the week. And let's see, what can I pick here today? Oh yes, okay. Funny news of the week. This from PETA, and everybody just loves PETA. Cow's
Really
milk.
tasty animals.
Exactly. Cow's milk has long been a symbol used by white supremacists. One more reason to ditch dairy.
There's a reason why they're banned in Wisconsin.
Probably.
This has got to be. This has absolutely got to be a troll. I mean, how could this be real? Someone believes this enough? I mean, PETA, you didn't buy your own Twitter account there. Is this what you really mean? Holy shit! Where? Do me a favor. Show me an example somewhere. Show me a picture from like like pre-World War II Germany. Show me where this has been. Milk. Yes. Okay. So what if you're like me and you have like a problem with Bosco and you put a lot of that in the milk? Like, does that mean that chocolate milk matters? What the fuck? This is the stupidest tweet I have ever seen. And to water down the term, I mean, like being a white supremacist or whatever is supposed to be this really bad thing, but we're going to put it in the same category as having a glass of milk. And I wonder why they're not having any attraction. Hey, peace.
Hello.
Hello.
I could get deep into this subject.
In time.
Yeah,
How could they go anywhere with this? I mean, and by the way, let's talk about the alternative. Almond milk. It takes something like 60 gallons of water to grow like a pint of almond milk in the state. And the only place you can grow them is California. And they have a serious fucking drought. So maybe that glass of milk, it could be worse. But I want to strangle the person who tweeted this.
There's only one thing I got to say for this kind of thing.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole. Pardon my French.
I don't even know exactly. Believes hemp milk.
Hemp milk? That's actually such a thing.
There's such a thing as hemp.
It's a thing.
Yeah. Hemp milk.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And and I can't talk right now, but also hail to John Reynolds that joined in, and Stark of Iron, and Stephen Ransom that also joined in. So
hello, Stephen.
Yeah, good. I'm here for the milk joke. Yeah, yes, it is episode 47. So God. Yeah, I just
milk, the other white meat.
Yeah, it's like what? Where did they find cows that are wearing like armband swastikas or something like that? Like I don't get this.
They're sticking their one hoof up.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of the dairy comes from the Midwest. The Midwest is mostly settled by people from Germanic countries. Germans equal white power, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I've been to the thing I hated about Wisconsin was I was the shortest person there, and I'm a little bit above average height. But what I loved about it was I was the thinnest person there too. Like that's like I think the fattest state in America. But you are right. Like most people there, like Germans, a lot of Swiss people, and it's affected the local accent. Like it's a little bit Germany.
Germanish. I just thought this was hilarious. My God. Like so to prove that I'm not a white supremacist, I should probably drink chocolate milk?
Soy milk.
You don't know? Soy milk? Yeah, no. God, no. There's no way to drink
this. That's what I look at this and I can't believe it. It's absolutely insane.
But if I want to join my solidarity for, like, I don't know, BLM or something like that, I should drink brown milk, chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Then it would prove I'm not a white supremacist.
You'll never prove that to me.
Yeah,
no, I know what you are. It's the phone.
Yes.
Who is the dickhead now? Hey? Who is?
So, yeah, I just thought this was friggin' stupid and nuts, and mostly stupid.
Let's be honest, everything's racist nowadays. So,
walking on the wrong side of the street, it's racist.
Exactly. But on top of that, speaking of white supremacy, well, this kind of came out. Fitness training is Nazism, and white supremacist tool says fat sex therapist.
What?
Fat sex therapist? Is that another word for lonely, horny, fat person?
It's
Well, so
quite
they
possible.
self-identified as fat, so I'm not doing anything wrong there. This is their own. They're self-identifying in that quote as fat, so I'm not putting anything on anybody. You know, we all have our own vision of this, but I mean, I think it was pointed out best. The last real swipe we got at this has been Dove a few times, doing it to gamers and other people. And they make soap and skincare products, but what else does Dove make? They make ice cream.
I don't know.
Oh,
they make ice
really?
cream.
Oh,
Ice cream is fairly and it's decent ice cream, but the
milk
thing is,
product.
ice cream is not known to make you thin.
That's
So
true.
maybe they have an agenda, and maybe the more skin you have, the more soap you buy. I don't know how they're thinking of it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but going back to the milk thing. Yeah, Stephen Ransom.
Well,
Hold
it's
on
our
a second.
product.
What's the message here? We should not breastfeed? Do black and brown people? No, because that's milk and that's white supremacy. So I guess they can't. So,
well, no, it was specific to cow milk, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The
mind.
Yeah, if you have goat milk, you're still okay.
Is there a death metal song here somewhere?
Yeah, it's right there.
I
It's
wanna write
sort of
that one
staring us down, isn't it?
Goodness.
Oh, God.
The death metal song is there. We just don't want to see it.
See, like last week, what was it, last week or the week before when Potato Raven was on, and he was saying that he lost like 200 pounds, and somebody actually, tried to
called him fat phobic, right?
shame him. Yeah, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with.
So, yeah, sorry I didn't want to die from being obese.
I don't
Sorry
want
that
to
I
get and have heart attacks. No, that's bad.
I'm sorry that I didn't like being called morbidly obese potato. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's a shame somebody actually wants to take care of themselves and get healthy.
Yeah.
Being healthy is the enemy of the government, though, because then you don't need them to take care of you.
True.
That's right.
He's lost my entire body weight plus like 40 more pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. My God. Roll them in the dough and find the wet spot. Anyway, so
Look, dude, I'm going to step in here quickly. I showed you that song, and if everybody else heard it here, Oliver Anthony, that was on this week, Rich Man of Richmond. And that's now considered a racist song. There's not one bit of racist. What the hell?
I thought Try That in a Small Town, a song I've never heard, is supposedly the istophobic song.
Oh, this is the new version. This is a new one, but it's actually the anthem of the people. I'd say check it out. Amazing song. Brilliant. It just.
Are we just going to start playing Can You Top This with Bruce Springsteen, John Mellencamp type America songs that have no deeper meaning by somehow connecting them to this insanity?
Yeah, quite possibly. Stephen Ransom says about that fatties, large people can donate more bloody and blood and plasma due to the amount of blood vessels and fat. There we go. They can also donate a lot of that fat if they really wanted to make lard. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, and soap. I saw this in Fight Club.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm not supposed to talk. That's the thing. Everybody who reviews Fight Club, you're breaking the first and second rule of Fight Club. You can't review the movie.
True. However, you know what? If they really wanted to gain some notoriety, they should probably all move to Japan and become sumo wrestlers, because then they are, reviled.
They're gods over there.
Exactly. You know how much money they make over there?
Gosh, yeah.
Dang. And hail to Gap After Dark. How's it going, dude? Nice to see you in the chat as well.
Yep.
So, So,
I will never forget that one Olympics where it went from England and the next one was going to be like Japan, right? So the Japanese people sent a sumo wrestler in traditional sumo garb to go extinguish the torch to bring like the fire to the next city. That closing ceremony stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. And my mom is. I'm watching this with my mom. It's like 16 years ago now. I'm watching this with my mom. This guy who must weigh 400 pounds, but he's only wearing like the tiniest of loincloths. His entire ass is hanging out. And my mom is screaming in horror. And I'm like, Mom, come on. Man's an athlete, Come on. And I couldn't stop myself from laughing because he did not look very athletic at all.
It's all about mass and upper body strength.
Yeah.
It's right.
You would make it an amazing offensive lineman in football. You just fall forward on the person.
Yeah, that would do it, right? Tackle!
Basically what they do anyway. That's what an offensive lineman does. They just stand up and fall on you.
I can't feel my spine. So
you'll know more about football after we take over.
You can get your heel out of my collarbone for starters, So.
How do I picture the Matrix and all the bodies, except they're all big people donating the blood and extra fat and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the Marvels and Dune and how Dune was going to be getting released into IMAX. But, it seems like there's been a little bit of a delay. So this from Bounding and IMAX that's been going on. Dune filmmaker Denis Villeneuve confirms that he started work on a third film. So there are words on paper. So he's already starting the third Dune movie, even though it's been delayed till, what was it now? March 24th, 2024. So, yeah.
Anybody who believes this man, anybody who believes Denis Villeneuve is an idiot, he is an extortionist filmmaker. He makes the first part of the story, and he's like, well, it turns out that this movie is only one part of a much longer story. I forgot to mention it before when I said you would walk out satisfied. You won't. But if enough of you see this movie, I'll make part 2. So fuck you. He did it with Blade Runner, and now it's happening with Dune. And so I don't give a fuck that he's making another movie. This guy's an extortionist filmmaker.
I'm actually glad he's making the Dune movies into a trilogy, because that's a lot of material to cram into just one movie.
It is.
I agree, but he didn't make the kind of progress David Lynch made in his one movie. He got about a third of the way. And there's our next Superman, Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah. So Denis Villeneuve, Dune Part 2 might have been delayed to 2024, but the filmmaker recently revealed that he started to work on a third film. Thank God, because
he's moved on, people. He's moved on from this.
He could moved on. Yep.
He could give a fuck about you in this story.
So on the official Dune account on X, it's announced that Dune Part 2 was moving from its November 3rd, 2022 to March 15th, 2024. So unfortunately, it looks like that we might get the Marvels on IMAX. I'm sorry to put that to you guys that way. So yeah. But
fuck you for saying that.
Yeah. For those who will actually spend the money and time to go see it.
Well, it's not like you have to see it.
Yeah, you don't have to see it. You can save your time and money. You can go see something better. Or you can stay home and read a good book.
Well, precisely, right?
Why do we have a frame from Triumph of the Will right here? What the fuck is going on with this picture? What is this image?
Well, okay. As for why the film is getting moved, Deadline reported that it had to do with the ongoing strike with SAG and AFTRA going on. However, Warner Brothers did not move other films such as Wonka, Aquaman, and The Lost Kingdom, and the Color Purple remake. They're doing a Color Purple remake.
What?
Why?
Really? Why? Why would you want to do that? Why? This is now we're gonna have to look that up.
No, it's good for them. I'd like to see more remakes so that the industry can collapse even faster.
Oh yeah,
you know what? I mean, we're still talking. Let's be honest here for a minute. Don't we want Hollywood to sort of wake up from this? Like, this is where they hit their head really hard, and all of a sudden they start talking sense. Like, it's rebooted their brain. That's kind of more how we want them to come out of the strike. Unless, like, what you want is just Squid Game all day. You know, I mean, there are other cultures and other places that'll provide us entertainment, no problem.
Yes,
but I mean, you know, if you're going to start falling. Yeah, and they will probably start to take hold, and they're going to be something that'll be around forever, the way that like Britcoms are for Americans. People are going to find out that they have an appetite for this stuff, and they're going to enjoy it. I mean, Hollywood is just kicking their own ass right here. But I mean, honestly, like, we invented movies, we invented the idea of entertainment. It would be nice if we could just get back on top of the ball. I know what everyone means when they say they want to see these studios collapse, but Really? I mean, if you look at the 2004 to 2008 period where we go from 16 film houses to 5, isn't that where the problem really happened?
Monopolizing, yeah.
Yeah. We only have 4 or 5 outlets for movies, right? Sony, Disney, Warner Brothers, and et al. Everyone else.
Yeah.
Paramount, Paramount's still making content. And I saw that despite being a good app that might have the best shows on it, the Paramount app is doing horrible. Maybe football will save it. Football might save it. They have an NFL contract.
So, because, I mean, Wonka, I don't know if it's going to be doing that well. I know it's supposed to be like a whole prequel of sorts, a pre-telling of, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I don't know if that's going to do any good.
Reboots. There aren't enough of those.
Yeah, exactly. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
I love it.
Seeing how they are keeping Amber Heard, I guess, in a few sequences and whatnot. I mean, come on. After judging by what happened with Blue Beetle, it was almost a nice movie, but not quite. And
you saw it?
I mean, I did see it.
You saw it?
I did see it. Oh yeah, I saw it.
I heard that as Latino as I am, I would have no place in that movie's mindset, right?
Yeah.
No place in that movie because I do not appear to be Latino in the way they define Latino, which is just Hollywood Latino, which is to say just sheerly concocted.
Thanks, Gab After Dark. Yeah, the Color Purple article. Okay, I will have to check that out.
How about that?
Yeah, go figure.
Sure.
So, and I'm sorry. I mean, seeing how they're rebooting the whole DC universe anyway with James Gunn, Aquaman, I mean, is it really going to be bothering making any money? Much.
I have a really weird feeling that this movie, this last appendage of the Snyderverse, is it crazy to say it got the least amount of care and it was only the least because they had to? They said Flashpoint tested higher with audiences and so did Batgirl. So, they were just too far down the road with this movie to give up. Yeah. This may have been the movie that sort of had a ripple effect on killing other properties.
Stephen Ransom still has Milk on the mind. Does anyone realize that Milk and MLK are minority rights leaders?
That's right.
Oh, I get what he's saying. Okay, I get what he's saying. Kudos to you for playing on that. Yes.
It's a rather homogenized point of view, but
whatever milks your Guernsey.
That's right. Oh God. Why
morons! I have morons on my
payroll! Wait, we got paid for this?
Say what?
No.
Yes.
No.
Checks in the mail. Checks in the mail.
Oh God. Yeah, exactly. So that's right. That's right. So regardless of the film's director, Denis Villeneuve recently spoke with Empire. Where he revealed, I say it the French way. No,
that is the French way, and he's Canadian.
Yes, he is. So, where he revealed that he recently begun working on a third film that would adapt Frank Herbert's Dune Messiah novel, he said, "I will say there are words on paper." Well, I'm.
So again, I didn't finish the movie.
I'm okay with that.
You're not going to get a whole story, but don't worry. If you see it and crowdsource my next movie, it's not extortion or anything. I'm not holding you hostage here, but if you don't go see my movie, you won't get the end of the story.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, but it'll work. That works though, right? I mean, because if the second one is, going to be really, really good, and the first one was, I mean, I was totally impressed with the first movie. Then, I mean, you gotta get them in. You gotta get them in somehow.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it's still no matter what happens with this Dune franchise, I will still go see that over anything from Marvel or DC.
Oh yes,
it's probably still
Marvel and
DC's.
Right. Yeah, Marvel and DC's not anywhere on my radar, not anywhere near my radar. I have zero interest in it, and they continue to be. Yeah, they just
guy's Blade. Sorry, go ahead, Pop.
Oh, they just keep lowering the bar and lowering my expectations, and I have zero expectations. The bar is so low now; it's buried practically. So
that's right.
It's
I would
dead to me. Dead franchises.
Denny Villeneuve sort of plays on the other side of that. Like, he makes you a pretty good movie. Like, it's very watchable. Like, in the movie theater, like Blade Runner 711 or whatever it is, it was very convenient to go see it. But the thing is, like, it was a good enough movie. But the thing is, like, as engaging as it was, and the fact that this guy actually knows how to pace a movie for medium tempo, which was cool, because Blade Runner 1 has like a 24-hour time period. And in this movie, we sort of get like much more of their world. And it was honestly every single thing that people had ever asked for as fans and people who wanted more Blade Runner. But the thing is, he also throws in like two subplots that are extremely important, but are like not front and center, but like they have like massive implications on the world. And like the story ends off with like a whole bunch of question marks, no questions answered. We still like leaving the Deckard thing more open than it had been before. And you know, maybe Doomcock was right. Maybe it's a waste of your time. But the thing is, we didn't get Blade Runner 2 and Blade Runner 3, and he's just going and honestly, like some sort of pirate or some kind of like, you know, brigand freebooting from IP to IP until he gets one that sticks. And I don't particularly appreciate being told, hey, come see our movie, and then you go there and you're like, wait, what? That movie didn't end, it stopped. And the next thing you know, he's like, oh, yeah, about the movie. Funny thing, I made it knowingly that there would be no ending. I stopped it in the middle of the story. If you go see it twice, maybe I'll tell you the rest. And this time, I promise it won't just be a stub of a story again. It's like, dude, you just did that to me. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I actually didn't have a problem with that. I went into it knowing that it's probably going to be more than one movie. When I went to see it, it's like, I knew there's no way. Dune.
Okay, yeah, well, Dune, like he said up front, there would be several Dune. He had learned a little bit about how to con people from his failed scam with Blade Runner. It was a scam. A week after the movie comes out, he's like out there admitting, like, oh yeah, the story's not finished at all. If enough people see it, it's like, fuck you. I'm supposed to see it again because your movie's just only okay.
The only thing I would have liked more about Blade Runner is if Ridley Scott would have returned to it.
That would have been nice. Terrible now too.
That would have been nice.
He's hit or miss these days.
I still think, Blade Runner is my all-time favorite, and I did like the second, but we never found out. Was he a replicant? That was a big question off the first one when he went off with her. It's like, was he a replicant also? And
that's going to be divisive. That's one of those divisive discussions that fans will always have. From ages to come. Like my own view is like, no, he's not a replicant.
I didn't think.
But I can understand the arguments for.
May I just say, there are 4 different cuts, right? And what Ridley Scott has done here is something that a lot of people would like to do. He's gotten a gimme back on his movie about 4 different times, and he has the ultimate. He's had the ultimate crowd testing, right? It's been released 3 different times in 3 different forms, and then he comes out with the final cut. So depending upon which version of Blade Runner you see, and even when it was released, it had 2 different versions. Ridley Scott says it in an interview.
That's right.
Right. It's far more heavily implied that he is a replicant in one cut than the other. Yeah. And then, like, when the movie only does okay instead of great, because it has Harrison Ford and it should have done great, right? Because he's in Raiders and he's in Empire, like right around the same time. So people are like, what? Right, to this Harrison Ford movie, it only does okay. Maybe there's something wrong with Ridley Scott. Maybe he sucks. Maybe he doesn't know what he's doing. Maybe the guy from maybe James Cameron can make a better Aliens movie. You know, who knows? And Ridley Scott like starts to buy back stuff, because if you listen to like early radio interviews with him, they're like, the implication would be that Deckard is a replicant, and he's like, yeah. But that's all he says. He's just like, yeah, I guess.
And it took forever to come to DVD and Blu-ray too. That wasn't until the 2000s. It took forever. It was only on VHS. I hunted it for years, and it's like, and the theatrical and the international is the best version. I didn't like his version because with Decker's talking is amazing.
I like the version. Sorry.
The narration is really good, but they might need to cut like 2 pieces of narration. Like there are a couple of pieces of narration that add nothing. Like my boss was the kind of guy who used to call people N-word. It's like she could have just called him a dick. But I get what you're saying.
That great scene at the end where he's dying and then he narrates a little over and then he does a speech, the infamous speech, and that is still wrenching to me to this day.
The one that Rutger Hauer improv essentially. Yeah, that was amazing.
Just
he had
the dialogue. He was reading the dialogue and said, "No, I've got a better idea for this scene," and they just did it.
So, Villeneuve noticed that
think about that. I was going to say, think about that scene for him to go and freelance a line. He kept everyone out in that rain simulation that much longer. That wasn't, I don't think it was overly pleasant to film Tears in the Rain. I think it was a little bit uncomfortable being soaking wet for the whole time. He's like, no, I want to do it again. So he really believed in that.
Yeah. So he did know that indeed dream of turning the films into a trilogy. He said, if I succeed in making a trilogy, that would be a dream. Then he revealed what his intentions for a third film would be. In Dune Messiah was written in reaction to the fact that people perceived Paul Atreides as a hero, which is not what he wanted to do. My adaptation of Dune
are you saying
is closer to the idea that it's actually a warning, which is true.
Did Monsieur Villeneuve, did he for the second straight time with the second straight franchise buy back the idea that this would be a movie? Because what he did was he said this one was going to finish the story, but now what he's saying is you haven't earned a finished story like I promised, and it's not my fault, and you'd better go see this late movie or I won't finish this story. I've written down a few words on paper. So this is, again, it's not the end of the story. It's not what he promised when he said the movie was coming out. This is extortion.
Yes, it is in a way. I mean, I can see it both ways, right? It's like, hey,
it's not what he told us.
I got a third one if you want to see it. I can see that point of view.
Yeah.
However, I can also see it from the point of view that, hey, we got to finish this book and we got to do it properly. And so I see it from both points of view.
Yeah.
And hail Jack Lumen that's in the chat.
It would be up to the studio as well, because he's not exactly in control. He does whatever the people with the money tell him to do.
Yeah,
I would say Mr. Villeneuve knows a lot about how to get people to throw money at him, because he's like, I just super incentivized my last movie by telling the people who saw it they were too dumb not to see it twice. They're all going to see it again.
Nah.
Yeah,
smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Yeah.
I really do not like this approach to making movies where the movie's out or finished and he's like, oh, by the way, that stuff I told you about it, I was making it up.
See, because I think what he wants to do, because
but this is the
way Herbert wrote it. Yeah, because the way Herbert wrote it is in such a way where we shouldn't just blindly follow leaders, because it could end up being more harmful than good as we perceive it at the time. So I think that's more than likely what he's trying to convey by wanting to tease a third movie that he's already going to be writing. So, and probably that's how we want to get it out.
But there's a way to say it.
Yeah,
but there's a way to say it, like, we're going to have a satisfying ending for this movie and finish out the Paul Atreides tale and move on to other stories in the world of Dune. That's how you say it. That's how you make a sensible statement. Like the people who did, like, it's not that analogous, but there's still a bunch of books like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe with the Chronicles of Narnia. What did they do? They're like, we're going to do the 3 books with the children and step away. We're only going to do that trilogy. That's as much as we have in us. And those movies are kind of charming. I like them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But this guy,
They are
totally different. Every time you're about to see a movie, he's like, "Yep, I finished my story." And it's like you're on the way, and he pulls the Columbo promotion. Oh, by the way, just one more thing. It's just part of. It's only part of the story.
Yeah,
but other studios have done this too. And I'm going to bring this up. People can laugh at me. I like The Golden Compass. Some people didn't. But there was one film, there was supposed to be 3, and it never continued. It just...
I like The Golden Compass as well. I didn't mind that.
Yeah.
I never seen it.
Oh, it was good.
No.
But we were left waiting. It's like, nah, no more films. That's...
Yeah, no more films.
Yeah.
Didn't make enough money.
Exactly.
No, exactly right. Damn it. So the director previously stated his intentions to make a trilogy when speaking with Entertainment Weekly back in October 2021. He told the outlet, "I always envisioned 3 movies. It's not that I want to do a franchise, but this is Dune, and Dune is a huge story," which it is. I mean, it spans thousands upon thousands of years.
Yeah.
In order to honor it, I think you would need at least 3 movies, and that would be a dream to follow Paul Atreides, and his full arc would be nice. So Herbert wrote 6 books, and the more he was writing, the more it was getting psychedelic. He then shared, "So I don't know how some of them could be adapted, one thing at a time. If I ever have the chance to do Dune Part 2 and Dune Messiah, I'm blessed." So this is what he's saying so far.
Well, we're waiting on part 2, so
that was less bad, but it was almost as though he sensed he had gone too far and was buying it back with those last couple of sentences, right? He's like, "But there's still kind of a way." But isn't Paul Atreides at the center of all 6 Dune stories, right? Or do they move on? Is there a time?
No, actually, there's a vast timeline because it goes thousands upon thousands of years into the future. So Paul is.
Go ahead.
Paul is essentially believe it or not, like a small part of it, because it goes into the fact that he has kids, and then one of those kids becomes the god, what they call the God Worm Emperor, who ends up living. God, I'm trying to think. It was either 1,000 years or 10,000 years. So believe it or not, yeah, Paul Atreides is kind of a small part in the whole Dune, books. But then again, this is how it starts, right? How the whole novelization starts, right? Is with Paul and what happens with Paul.
I hate to say it, but I mean, he's up against a really good previous movie from the 80s that's kind of got a big following. And here he is taking twice as long. This is 2 movies now, right? And he's like, "Yeah, I didn't quite finish the Paul Atreides story, and I want to make a whole lot more Dune movies. But to get the end of this story with Timothée Chalamet, you're going to have to spend for another movie. You're not $20 away. You're $40 away. You're not 4 months away, 8 months away. You're like 25 months away from the end of this story. And this is the 3rd movie in a row where I've pulled this stunt where at the last minute I'm like, oh, yeah, by the way."
Ledrod, you have to get going. So is there anything that you want to plug?
Nothing in particular, really. I'm just here.
Okay.
Suppose I could plug the old Bit Built forums again, but yeah.
You can if you want to. Go for it.
Sure, let's get a link here.
And I shall put it in the chat.
Private chat there. If you want to check it out, do a lot of hacks and mods going on there. Yeah. If you're into electronic stuff, have a look.
Nice.
I got my build log for the Dreamcast. We're down to almost the final month for the 2023 summer contest. We'll see what comes out of it.
Sweet, bro. Well, thanks for joining, and really, really like having you on. So, whenever you feel like coming on, just let me know.
Yeah, will do.
And have fun at work.
Oh, tons of fun. Tons and tons of fun. Nothing like doing the same thing over and over again for hours.
Well, that's what they call insanity. So
it was great to meet you in this capacity.
Yeah.
It was great to have a chance to talk to you again in this capacity, Lenrod.
Yeah.
Not that I said much. Hey.
Nah. At least you said something. So And you're joining in the fun, and that's all that matters.
Indeed.
Penny says, just got home from watching Strays. Too much crude humor. Nodded off a couple of times and laughed at dog getting shocked by invisible fence. 3 out of 5 dog biscuits. Awesome. It's always funny to see that. So,
all right, I gotta get going. Catch y'all later.
All right, later.
All right, dude. See ya.
Bye.
So the article keeps on going. As for this idea that Herbert wrote Dune Messiah as a warning about messianic figures, it's true. In an essay titled Dune Genesis that was originally published in July 1980 issue of Omni magazine. Oh yeah, I remember that magazine way back when. Herbert explained, I conceived of a long novel, the whole trilogy, as one book about a messianic convulsions that periodically overtake us. Demagogues, fanatics, con game artists, the innocent and the not so innocent bystanders all were to have a part in the drama. This goes from my theory that superheroes are disastrous for mankind. Even if we find a real hero, whatever or whoever they may be, eventually fallible morals take over the power structure that always comes into being around such a leader, he added. There we go.
Sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah. So, and this is what the first 3 books touch on. So, about, just blindly following certain people that may or may not be, these Messiah type figures and whatnot, and the implications of such, which carry on in the other 6 books, I do believe it is.
Cults of personality.
Yeah.
It's ironic this particular filmmaker is doing these books then, because he's like, this is too many times in a row with the extortionist approach. I don't know if he just has bad delivery or this is just like ongoing with Denis Villeneuve. It's like, you're unwise to get involved with him.
Yeah.
It's like the mob or something.
Maybe.
It's like, those payments we told you didn't have to make after, you closed your store. Turns out you have to make them
that's
anyway.
Right.
Oh man! Oh God! Oh man! Oh God! Oh man! Oh God! Oh man! Oh God!
Jeez. Really? No, don't say it ain't so.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen, the person that I'm pretty sure Hollywood wants to be your Superman. That's the Superman they want for you.
Oh God, no, please no. So
you don't think Timothy Chalamet would be a great Superman in the eyes of you don't think that Kathleen Kennedy would want him to be Superman?
It'll be somebody's Superman, but not mine. I don't believe I'll be checking anything out.
On my planet, I'm weak and dumb.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like you.
Herbert would later. This then was one of my themes for Dune. Don't give over all of your critical faculties to people in power, no matter how able those people may appear to be. Well, that's true. I mean, because that's what we do in certain cases. When we, how should I put it? When we put people up on a pedestal, be it politicians or celebrities or musicians or whatever, right? So. Except for this YouTube channel, you guys may treat me as such because I'm just a man. I'm just a man with holes. Yeah. So, not a holy man.
We always idolize celebrities.
Hey, Dad Man! How's it going, man?
Dad Man.
Dad Man. So, yeah. Beneath the hero's facade, you will find a human being who makes human mistakes. Enormous problems arise when human mistakes are made on the grand scale available to a superhero. And sometimes you run into another problem, he explained. Well, that's true. And this is what the whole, series of books is all about. What Paul Atreides ends up doing, what might seem like a great thing, ends up in the future becoming not so great. So, yeah. And some people might call it lazy writing, but it's not really lazy writing. It's actually pretty good.
If anything, he would be executing it poorly, right? Because everyone says the books are good.
Well, yeah, that could be.
Huh.
So
that's just lazy writing. Well,
someday I'll go back and finish reading the Dune novels.
Probably.
He went on to
reiterate. He went on to reiterate, it is demonstratable that power structures tend to attract people who want power for the sake of power, and that a significant proportion of such people are imbalanced, in a word, insane. That was the beginning, he said. Heroes are painful, superheroes are catastrophic. The mistakes of superheroes involve too many of us in disaster. Well, I mean, that's true, right? Because, I mean, like, you got to think this way. How many times have we watched, like, I don't know, any kind of superhero movie? I don't care if it happens to be like, you know, I don't know, like say Superman or maybe the Avengers or God, like even the Transformers live action franchise or, you know, any kind of superhero type of movie, right? And there's always like, you know, you don't really kind of think of it in the background, all this collateral damage that takes place. You know, maybe a city is wrecked, an entire city block or something like that. But you got to really think of it. Who's the collateral damage? It's everybody that lives around, right? And we're too primarily focused on people that, you know, that are the main point of the story. But you got to think of the background of things. So, you know, what about the people around them?
Batman versus Superman pointed that out, though. Because remember when they did, because they actually pointed out like the collateral damage from Man of Steel. So.
Yep.
They even went back and dealt with that.
That's right.
They even went back and tried to clean up the mess. They've taken like 3 bites at that apple now, because BVS has some like attempt to show you that some people tried to do some things to help, right? Because the thing is, like, why are all these powerful people and entities in the DC universe on the bench? Especially when you can see like Gotham from Metropolis and vice versa. And then Zack Snyder, like, I don't know why people have so much faith in him. Bruce Wayne, I mean, okay, so he decides to go as Bruce Wayne, but does he drive? Is he already in Metropolis, or does he drive from one to the other? Because they botched the look of both cities. They both look like the same boring city. And these are 2 cities that have been around in movies since the 40s, man. Like, there's a cinematic history of the look of Gotham and the look of Metropolis.
Exactly.
And you should be able to tell them apart quite easily. So it's just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, that whole thing really dropped the ball there. I mean, I really wasn't satisfied with those movies. I didn't really care for them.
Massive collateral damage,
massive collateral. Massive collateral damage. It's like,
letting
you address
Kevin
that?
Costner die is fine in most movies, but the way they did it, I mean, usually I applaud if you let Kevin Costner die in a movie, but the way he died, the world's most escapable fate, everyone got away with him.
Yeah,
exactly. He didn't need to be a superhuman to save him either. It was like that was done so badly. And then when they bring him back and by the way, in Flashpoint, they again go to the Kryptonian invasion to try to show that we put some babies in microwaves and save some people from that in that movie too. Like they're not willing to admit that was a problem.
Yeah.
Or they know it's a problem and they keep trying to fix it. And it's like, you guys, you got to move on. It's too late. It's too late. You did what you did. You killed. What would you say from Man of Steel? 200,000 people? It had to be, right? It was Tuesday downtown in their version of what's supposed to be New York. They destroy all of it. There is one massive structural collapse after another on these 100-story skyscrapers. I hate to invoke the term, but there are a million 9/11. There's like 15 9/11 type collapses in like 1 or 2 minutes in that movie.
Yeah.
And people run from one to the other and stare at it. And then when it's done collapsing, they run in another direction and wait for another one to fall. They are the dumbest people in the world from reading the Daily Planet. They really are.
That happens when you follow mainstream media. So
Barry White is the worst fucking character ever conceived in the Snyderverse. It's his fault. It's his fucking fault. By the way,
God.
did you notice that in Justice League, Superman's body teleports from where they buried it to the Superman monument? Like, how'd that happen?
Nobody knows.
Everybody who says all these glowing things about the Snyderverse, like, okay, some of it did look really cool, but like the movies were longer than long. I mean, 11 minutes of walking upstairs alone in the in Justice League, right? 11 minutes of walking upstairs and 33 minutes of slow-mo.
And exaggerated slow motion shots.
Yeah.
I don't mind some of the slow-mo. Like, he made it into like what it is, but like it's all he does. And if anybody
if you
begins
like
to fight
it, you'll
it's just
get
like
your
time
fill
slows
of it.
down.
Yeah, if you like the slow motion stuff, you'll get your fill with Rebel Moon, I imagine.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like he watched The Matrix a lot, and he loves J.J. Abrams, and he decided that he was going to be somewhere in the middle because it's very J.J. Abrams, a lot of his stuff. It looks very J.J., it feels very J.J., and they both use Chris Terrio to write their stories, so they have the same just horrible weak holes and.
But specifically commenting on Dune Messiah, so the third one that Villeneuve wants to get out, Herbert said, of course, there are other themes and fugal interplays in Dune and throughout the trilogy. Dune Messiah performs a classic inversion of the theme. Children of Dune expands the number of themes interplaying. I refuse, however, to provide further answers to this complex mixture that fits the pattern.
Unless you send me $200,000 in unmarked bills.
That's right. Find your own solutions. Don't look to me as your leader. So, but no. So I'm thinking that if possible, if he does do the third one, that this possibly might leave it on a slight cliffhanger. I don't know. If he gets a third one out, and depending on how the second one does. So, Stephen Ransom, WBDC hasn't done a good DC film since the animated Flashpoint, since Sub-Zero, the animated Mr. Freeze story. Yep, no, that's true.
Yeah.
So, live action is ironically not live. Yeah, no, you're 100% on that. So, but that's what's going on. So he's got one in the can. It's been delayed, but he wants to plan out the third one, which personally I don't mind. We'll see how the second one goes.
I don't mind it either.
Yeah.
I'd
Does
like
anyone
to
else
see
feel
it.
like he undercut his sales pitch for this one, though? It's like, it's just the middle.
Probably.
You know, this movie's not out yet. You know what I mean? And he's like, it's just part of a larger story that maybe I finish. If no one goes sees this, though, I'm not going to finish it. Like, I got words on paper, though.
I don't mind it. I'm actually glad he's making it into a trilogy instead of a set of 2 films because I want to see the story done justice.
Yes.
There's enough material there for 3 movies easily.
Yeah.
What happens when Mr. Villeneuve gets like money and they tell him that what they really want is for him to finish his Blade Runner story, and he goes back to that for like 5 straight years and does 2 of those, and you're just left hanging on this Dune thing? Would that be okay with you? Because that's what we're trending towards here.
I don't know.
He's going to turn around and do something else. He's going to go to Europe and make a movie, right? He's not going to. The SAG strike probably won't affect Denis Villeneuve.
Let's be honest. Just be glad it's not going to be a Fast and Furious 10 films long type thing. So,
yeah.
I mean, depending on his contract, and I suppose it also depended on how well the first movie did. Maybe he's already got the deal planned out. Okay, the first movie did great. Yeah, we're going to give you the other 2 to do a trilogy. So
yeah.
That could be
probably all in a contract. So he has to go by whatever contract he has his name signed to. So as far as whatever Blade Runner, I have no idea. I've seen Blade Runner 2049 once, and I didn't really get into it.
It was a good movie. It was immersive, but at the end, you realize that there are 2 major things going on that they have not addressed.
Yeah.
And Stark, see you later, dude. Yeah. Thanks for joining. Stephen Ransom also said, but Teague, most normies don't read, so we're good.
She's right.
Yeah. I'm okay with
Killer Rabbit. It'll probably be 25 years before another Blade Runner movie.
Oh, very true.
Harrison Ford will still be in it, though. It's like at 106 years old, he's an inspiration. It's like, I've heard there's a chance to destroy another one of my characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
He had him.
No, it'll be all done by AI. Somebody will just type in what they want into an AI chatbot, and the AI chatbot will spit out a full-length live-action movie.
I want to thank Provasic for getting me to this set.
Actually, in about 25 years, the AI will look so human you won't even need them. Just pop them in. There's Harrison.
Pretty much.
In 25 years, you'll be able to write your script and throw it into some kind of computer, and it'll come back rendered as good as Mass Effects in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And if you want it as good as a movie, it's like a week. It'll just need like a week to render or some shit like that.
Oh, God.
That's actually one of the things with the strike. They're saying
that might be good. I mean, that honestly might be good. I mean, imagine this: if you're good enough, and maybe put some money into like a professional editor, someone who does know how to like edit and guide you along the lines of a book, because like probably saved a lot of books along the line. These guys, if you get yourself an editor and you do a little research and you write a story that's good enough, and you prepare it in such a way that it can be rendered by one of these like computers, like. Maybe we just get independent people dropping out hour-long, acceptable-looking sci-fi. Well, if it all, like, let's say it looks like Star Wars Clone Wars.
Yeah.
If only Ashoka looked as good as Star Wars Clone Wars, by the way.
Yeah. Or we could have
the sequel 2929 if Kingdom is still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The Blade Runner of Aquarius. Aquarius!
Yeah. No, we could just use AI at some point to give Star Wars fans what they really want. Just shoving AI all 3 books of the Heir to the Empire and say, "All right, spit this out," and we get Heir to the Empire trilogy.
Because you know what Disney will do. You know exactly what Disney will do then.
What do you want me to do? Dress and drag and do the hula? What do you want me?
No.
That's what Disney will do.
I want you to go away, Disney.
No,
I want Disney to sell off. I want them to sell off their franchises to people who care.
Yeah.
Oh,
Same with Marvel. I want a good Hulk
Same
film.
with Marvel.
Yeah. Datman says Ahsoka needs more than just looking Star Wars, just bad and dry. Yeah. It's what some people.
I didn't mind the look of Ahsoka. I've heard people complain that it was too clean looking. I was thinking, well, this is after Return of the Jedi, so the New Republic's going to start cleaning things up. They're going to be putting fresh coats of paint on things and tidying things up. So yeah, it's going to look new and shiny.
I'm okay with the part where it looks like the Phantom Menace as far as how new things are. I'm saying, like, when I look at Hera, is that the Twi'lek's name?
Yep.
When I look at Hera, I ask myself if something's been done with a filter on the camera to even out her skin. She is the strangest looking Twi'lek I've ever seen. Jennifer Beals was even more low effort. I don't think they even painted her green. So at least, they went as far as making her green. But there is, in the pacing of this show, with the pacing of the show being what it is, there is way too much time to think about how there's something like Hera alone among the rest of them has entered this uncanny valley where she can't really even stand next to the others without really looking fake. I found Hera to be really, really, really fake. And the other problem I had with it is if you watch the scene where, is it Ray Stevens? Is that his name? The late Ray Stevens is speaking. Yeah. Okay, so if you watch it, his hair length and beard changed twice in the scene. Like it was so obviously, so obviously a reshoot.
We'll just have to
Or
see.
they just didn't get him right. I mean, they couldn't take a picture of him and then look at it and match it and then be like, okay, we're going to just groom his beard the way it was before.
Yeah. Stephen Ransom, some needs to remind Disney and Warner Brothers that self-destruction is illegal, even for artificial persons and corporations. It's true.
You might be right about how it's illegal to gut a corporation, because then, like, there are things to be there's a pathway for like individuals to make a lot of money. Like if it activates like Bob Iger's golden parachute and the last thing they do is give him like $35 million.
Yeah. True.
There's ways to go. There's ways to drive a business into the ground illegally. It's true.
And seeing how we're at the 1 hour mark, we'll just take a brief commercial break.
Mega Mark.
Commercial break time.
Commercial break time. So
here we go.
Specialty from Omega Mart.
Hey, you look thirsty. Stock up on Orange Cola. 2 liters, just 89 cents. Or cool off with a refreshing Zalg, only $4.99 a month. Plus, name brand salts, only 67 cents. And save on individually wrapped wheat squares. Just $1.79 for a pack of 10. But hurry, at these prices, supplies won't last.
Mega Mart, you have no idea what's in store for you.
Another head scratcher.
Oh, crap. I love these commercials. Jeez. And just to remind everybody that, please do hit the like and subscribe button. Spread the show around. I would really appreciate it. And that we're also on Rumble as well. So if you want to also check out the show on Rumble, please hit the Rumble button or the follow button or, whatever the hell it works over there. So, because I'm still trying to figure out Rumble as well. So, but, yeah, absolutely a genius ad campaign. It is.
Yeah.
Isn't it though?
If only for the Omega Mart commercials. Hit the like button.
Exactly.
Because
That's
I haven't
right.
been
That's
so
all you have to
bewildered
do.
since watching Brazil.
I know, right?
I love the Omega Mart commercials. They are so sus. What was one of them? Vape juice flavored root beer flavored soda.
Exactly. Yep.
And the
I'm sorry, no,
lemons.
root beer flavored vape juice flavored soda.
Oh God! Just
hail to the geniuses who make the Omega Mart commercials. Hail to you all.
Yes, that's right.
We salute you.
Oh, and the Americanized beef. Don't forget that. That was pretty good. And
every once in a while, one of them goes sideways into like pure Satanism, but like schlockishly. It's hilarious.
That's right. And Caribbean
like
festive
dead milkmen Satanism.
Yeah, Nebula Loaf. That was a good one. So. Oh God. So shifting over things, as some of you out there may know or may not know, Netflix is going to be doing another manga adaptation. Now,
yay.
Yay. So, they've already put out Cowboy Bebop and Death Note and a few other things and whatnot. They actually did Full Metal Alchemist, but then again, that was purely a Japanese adaptation, which was actually done right. So I'll give it to them. But when it comes to solely Netflix, well, as many of you might know out there, they're doing One Piece, which is coming out, I do believe, this week.
I think
so. Yep. So this in the news of what's going on. Netflix's live-action One Piece showrunner says he wanted to adapt Ichiro Oda's manga because it tells a simple and yet so profound story about a boy who's following his dreams. And that's it.
So far, so good. Sounds okay.
So far, so good. Exactly. Right? So, Stephen Ransom, yeah, about Teague's obvious fake phobia. Aren't we going to address this? No. No, we're not.
Which fake
Not
phobia
yet.
is that? I pretend to be afraid of several things.
Absolutely ingenuous ad campaign. Yeah. But I'm holding out a little bit on this one because it seems that Oda really got into this adaptation, saying, "You know what, guys, you're not going to put it out unless I know what you're going to be doing." So apparently, I do believe that's what he said. So he's being really protective of this, more than likely because he knows what's going on with the other adaptations, and I mean. God, with over over 1,000 anime shows out right now, and I don't know how many untold manga that have been released right now. I mean, this has been going on longer than Naruto, for the love of God. So let's find out. In stark contrast to the usual cynicism, fan disdain, and self-aggrandizing that has been fueled nearly every live action Hollywood anime adaptation in recent years, Netflix's One Piece showrunner, Stephen Maeda, has revealed that the simple and elemental nature of Luffy's journey was what inspired him to take a live action crack at Ishiro Oda's seminal work. So,
you are in charge now, Admiral
exactly.
Ida.
I mean, I gotta
it's an older movie formula, but it checks out.
True. Yeah. Because you need to take a power nap, Penny. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. You have your nappy time. I do have to say that every Hollywood adaptation was bad. I mean, Battle Angel Alita, that was pretty damn good.
I loved
that was
it.
awesome.
I liked that movie, and apparently I'm a terrible person because I like it. From what I understand, right? Like only bad people like that movie.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, exactly.
I was told that only bad people like that movie. Because it's
I think I remember something about
and,
that.
I think it extends traditional beliefs about. It's like you can't win, right? We get a powerful woman here. She kicks ass. She's fun. She's believable. You're 100% behind her, and they're like, she's fake because her eyes are like 10% larger than a human's could be, and it's an idealized, unattainable form of beauty. And I'm like, kind of takes place in this weird cartoonish world, and she's not really a person the way we are. She's sort of she's more of a person than Picard the robot, but she's got there's a lot going on with Alita. And there was a
it
good
wanted
story
to keep true to its
there.
manga roots is the
With
way
the anime
is the way it is.
The eyes are too big. Hello, it's anime.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it's unattainable. Well, our eyes are too big, so maybe like it's supposed to be like the Na'vi are unattainable too. Does that mean Way of Water? But I mean, these are both James Cameron's like things, right? He's producer of Alita, and I thought it was maybe one of Christoph Waltz's best performances. I enjoyed Alita: Battle Angel. It's a fun movie.
Yep. So, Medea, whose previous credits include stints as a writer for Lost second season, and the showrunner for the sci-fi series Helix, spoke to his love. Helix. Spoke to his love of the One Piece manga optimistic story while giving a single deleted or hidden interview to Screen Rant ahead of the Netflix adaptation upcoming premiere. Asked by an uncredited Screen Rant reporter to recall his first meeting with One Piece, the showrunner asserted, "My first meeting was I was approached by production studio Tomorrow Studios because they had acquired the rights to the story for the underlying IP, and they were looking for someone to write a plot script for them to do a rewrite to run the show." Okay. I'll give him this much. But see, I always cringe when they say, doing a rewrite. So yeah, I'm sorry, I just can't help it. But whenever,
that's kind of a strange way to phrase it too. Like the way you say it to not scare people is, we're turning it into a teleplay, or we're in the process of transforming that into a movie script that's workable.
Exactly, because I always think
Who's the dickhead now, hey?
so. That's what I think. Somebody with ulterior motives and whatnot, and just totally turning everything around, as we saw multiple times. And so I had a meeting with him, and to head it off, I love the material, he explained. And that was the beginning. That was a little over 4 years ago. That was the first time I was involved. I was a fan before, but I hadn't really dived in deep. Oh, and there's a little bit of a red flag there on top of that.
Yep.
He added, I had a read of a couple of the chapters early, but I really didn't understand the true breadth and scope of the world. And so I very quickly got up to speed with the first 100 chapters. And then I was so taken, so there might be a little bit of hope here. I just said, if there's a way to be a part of this, I've got to do it. And then I kept reading, and it's like now I'm caught up, I think, to chapter 1089. So yeah, okay, that's how many chapters are in it. Okay, so you know what? At least he got hooked.
Yeah,
and he made it up that far. So okay, so far, this gives me a little bit of hope.
Is dove a word, or is it just dived and diving and dived?
No, dove's a word.
Right.
Dove's a word.
So we could say that someone dove in. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering about that one.
Yeah. Stephen Ransom. Yeah. The size of the eyes. Oh, I suppose going back to Battle Angel Alita. The size of the eyes is a direct metaphor to the mirror of the soul. Large eyes means open hearts. Yep, no, that's true. Also, anime action happens in the witness mind, not in reality. The witness is mind boggled by the events.
Yeah, like Alita might have a mocap actress. She probably does at some points, and at some points it's probably purely CGI. But I mean, Alita, like, she exists. There's an actress who does the mocap, I'm pretty sure. And it might not be the same person who does the voice, but the thing is, Alita's like, she's real different. Like, she exists by anime rules where she is in the world of real people. But like the way she looks, it's just like her looks are devised. She's not like, she's created. She's not born. She's made.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she was a real person, but then becoming a cyborg and whatnot. And
we never know that real person, right?
Because
much like Ghost in the Shell.
Well, I was going to say the Major. That's a very similar story to the Major. So yeah,
yes,
Shell. So yeah,
exactly. And because of the way they did it, leaving the quote unquote big manga eyes, it really pulls you into that manga world because they keep that aesthetic. To remind you, hey, this is from a manga. This is from an anime also and whatnot, and that's what we're bringing into this movie. So I like the way that they did that, and I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn who complains about it. So,
But as for this, it looks like he's interested in the source material, so that's a good sign. So
that's a very good sign. Plus, didn't the creator stick around to guide the production?
Yep.
He wasn't letting him go off the rails at all. He wasn't having any of it.
That's right. Oh, and hail to the Titan that dropped in.
It's just terrible.
Nice to see that you've seen it, that you made it, dude. So, there's an interesting symbolism in anime. Yeah,
that's to you, my friend.
Yes. So, going on, because I have a little bit of hope then if he's made it to that many chapters and totally read the entire series so far. So, far, so good. I got a little bit of hope. So, we'll find out when this comes out. So, taking note in the fervor with which Maeda consumed Oda's manga, the screenwrite contributor then inquired with the showrunner as to what it was that drew you into the story and whether or not it was something about it that particularly resonates with you? To which the guest replied, I thought it was a wonderful combination, a very unique world, which you don't see that often nowadays in big fantasy, intellectual property, and comics and manga. So, and no, that's true. And that's the whole beauty of manga. In North American comics, and trust me, I am not poo-pooing North American comics whatsoever, but it's almost always the same thing. Superheroes battling bad guys. It's always technically kind of the same plot. Okay, what's the new superhero or supervillain of the week that they're going to be battling? It's always pretty much like almost like a skipping record, that keeps on going on and on and on and on. And Killer Rabbit, you got to bounce. Thanks for stopping by, dude. So greatly appreciate it, man. But that's the beauty of manga, right? It's not all. First of all, it's not all consolidated in one big shared universe, like say Marvel or DC. And it's all these independent creators.
So many different stories told, different types of different walks of life, many different types of stories. Yeah,
exactly, exactly, right. And and I kind of told my wife about this a couple of nights ago. That that's the appeal of manga, and that's the appeal of anime. It's like taking some sort of bizarre situation, or just making something up that just you would normally never see, and just running with it.
Hellsing, that's a brilliant one. Chobits, which is totally hilarious, and so many variants in between. It's open to anything.
The classics like Ranma 1/2, Tenchi Muyo, Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah. I mean, and even recently, like say, Chainsaw Man. That was sound, dude. I watched the first One Punch Man. Yeah, and that manga was supposed to be like just totally like a throwaway comic, not to take it seriously or anything like that. But it hit fans like smashing through a brick wall, right? And everybody thought, "Oh my God, this is so awesome!" Right?
Now
a guy that basically
Superman. It's everybody. Yeah. Like, who can he beat? Who can he not beat? Yeah.
Everybody compares all these characters to Superman, and what annoys me is that how many more powers and whatnot is Superman going to get? He's already way overpowered.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
it's ridiculous.
They beat up on and humbled the shit out of Superman not too long ago, didn't they?
Not that I know of, because every time
they
I see
did things
videos
to me. They did things to me.
Yes, in that DC comic,
that one,
they violated me. Blah blah blah. It's like, oh,
Doomcock read the story and explained how horrible it was, and he found out like 3 months later because that's how low the level of interest was in Superman, and it's a shame, right? People have alleged that there's only 100,000 comics being sold of the American comics total a month.
Yeah.
So there were a lot less people in 1959 when they were selling like 2 million a month.
Yep. The Titan says anime has gone the radical route of telling good stories with interesting characters. So weird. It is weird.
Imagine that.
Stephen Ransom.
Give the people what they want.
Indeed, and Isekai is actually taking place in an alternate universe for the main character. Yeah, really?
Yeah, that's an Isekai.
See, because I was
like a person gets hit by a truck and they wake up in another world or something. That's what an Isekai is.
Yeah, because recently I watched what was it, Uncle from Another World? This web comic that was made into an anime. God, that is so hilarious. Oh my God, on Netflix. And you know what? Like recently, last week, I was listening to a podcast, Robservations, with Rob Liefeld, and don't shoot me, because he does have some good insights. But last week he was talking about, like is this truly the dark days of comics and stuff like that, and he honestly thinks. Well, he did touch up on some of the numbers for comic sales, but back in 2000, 1999, 2000, and they were low back then, apparently, and I did look it up. But, he was going on, oh, no, comic sales are up. But all the numbers that he's citing is like back around 2015 to 2018. He doesn't touch up on anything now in the past like 3 or 4 years where it's just got so abysmally bad. And he's like, no, comic sales are doing just great, just fantastic. They're up there. This isn't the dark day of comics. It's like, dude, really? You are so out of touch.
I know you
released a Spider-Man story about a trans teen support group where one of the characters was called Misery Girl, and her power was to make you feel her sadness.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Like,
having worked in
really?
a comic book store in the early 90s, I can tell you that was a crazy period of time.
Oh, big
comic
time.
sales were booming. There was Marvel, DC, Death of Superman, Batman's whole storyline where he fought Bane and had his back broken. You had Image Comics coming out. You had Valiant comics out there. That was a crazy period of time. I don't believe we'll ever see sales like that ever again.
No, I don't think so.
Well, if only because you're not going to keep the store afloat with only the Rippaverse, at least not yet.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we'll
doing
never
a lot of
see
it
a
directly,
time.
right?
We'll never see a time where DC was killing it with the Death of Superman. Marvel had their stuff going on. There was Avengers, there was X-Men, there was Iron Man. You could walk into any comic book store and see a whole floor to ceiling shelf full of X titles, X books. You could see Superman here, Wonder Woman there. It was all over the place. Then you had Image hit ground running, Spawn, Savage Dragon, so many other titles that they were killing it. Valiant was out there. Valiant had an amazing run for 2 years. Now that was a great period of time. And I don't see the comic book industry ever getting back to that point ever again, unfortunately.
No, exactly. Stephen Ransom, anybody that has watched My Hero Academia, you know what? I actually got through the first season. I want to watch the rest of it. Knows that Western comics have gotten lazy. The power sets are so creative and imaginative. Yeah, they are. He also says, I highly recommend Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud. Yeah, it's a really good book. I got all three
I keep
of those
hearing about
books.
that one.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Flaming Carrot. Oh God, yeah. I remember Flaming Carrot from Dark Horse. Jeez. That was so nuts.
Oh, Dark Horse was killing it during the 90s as well.
It was, because they had their own imprint title of when they brought John Byron over, and they had their own
X-Men. They had the Aliens, Predators story,
Ghost, Hellboy. Ghost and Hellboy, and
Star Wars.
Barbed Wire, and then they had the Star Wars imprints, that was great.
See, a lot of the major comics now, especially the major ones, they always reboot. There's not consistency. The only consistency I've ever seen has been Spawn, that has up to like the 300 some odd now. Like that's one of the longest running with one story. And I find now independent comics at least still get to print good stuff. Like Ménage à Trois, it's actually an adult comic, but it's not too bad. But it's based out of Montreal, and it's a local Canadian guy. But it's a funny, hilarious independent comic. But I find it's good for the independents, but the major companies just don't do it anymore. They don't.
No. So he goes on to say, but they're there. But they're really hard to come by, especially the really good ones, Medea then clarified. And so I was really taking with Oda-san's world. And then the storytelling was so kind of simple and elemental about a boy who's following his dreams and who aspires other people to follow their dreams. I've always said that Luffy's superpower is that he gets other people to remember their dreams and to start following them again. He ultimately opinioned the topic even more so than the stretchy power that is a superpower. And it was such an important story that I thought, and such so simple and yet so profound, that the combination of the action and the world building and the emotion was amazing. It is true. And you know what? And it's the same thing that goes with Naruto as well. If you follow the entire like Naruto series on top of that, it's about um it's not about his big rise to want to be Hokage. It's about um there's a roadblock in my way and I need to basically fight through it and get better and get better. Or, I perceive you as a rival and I want to basically become better than you. And then through that way, but not in a malicious, vindictive way. It's like, how to put it? It's, it's a fun it's a fun competitive rivalry. Oh, you're going to beat me? No, I'm going to beat you. It's like a fun race, and that's also what I kind of enjoyed about Naruto. And these stories is, it wants to make everybody like pursue their dream or want to be better than they're currently at and to want to keep on fighting on. And that's what's also severely lacking in Western comics.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It looks interesting. I mean, I've never seen an episode of One Piece, never read any of the manga, so I'll be going into it cold, but it does look interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, even if you watch the anime, I mean, it pretty much follows the manga as it is anyway, because at least they keep that. They keep true to the story and an anime for, mostly for the most part. So, that and it's more of a fun way to enjoy it. So I find at least.
That shot you're scrolling up from is very anime, and it looks like decent. I mean, all right, it's not the greatest CGI trick, but it's like a decent use of CGI to make it more like the source material. Whether it works or not, we'll find out. I mean, it could go She-Hulk on us, but it looks okay here. I mean, at least I've seen this kind of shot in like a regular in real anime.
Yeah,
exactly. It certainly looks anime-ish.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm worried about, the writing. Where are they going to go? What's going to be included?
Yeah. As long as Oda's had a say in it, I don't think they'll stray too far from it. From what little I've read about it, he's been there to fight with them, wanting to change stuff, and he's put his foot down, saying, "No, you're not going to change stuff.
Yeah,
you're going to do the way I wrote it, the way I made it."
That's right, and that's that, right? And it's about time that a creator puts their foot down and say, "No, you're going to do it my way, and that's it," right? Or else I'm going to cancel this whole freaking thing.
If only we had that with Cowboy Bebop.
Oh God, I know.
Seems the only person who says "fuck you, my way or nothing" is Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, exactly right. So to this end, asked by Screen Rant's contributor at the end of their time together whether he had any words of encouragement for the audiences whose first exposure to the franchise will be the Netflix's live action series, Medea would reiterate his love for Oda's original version and declare, "I would say to jump into it with no expectations, to watch the show for what it is, and to just let the world come to you. Because it's so unique and so different from most of the other big epic fantasy shows out there. I think you just have to accept it," he told the outlet. "I would tell people to enjoy the tone of the show because the show is fun and sometimes a little bit goofy and irreverent, but also very emotional and very heartfelt. And at the core of it is a story about following your dreams, which is something that we all struggle with. And I have always said, even 4 years ago, that this was a wonderful story for the times that we're in because it's about hope and optimism and following dreams, which is something that is scarce supply these days."
Oh, that sounds downright cheery.
It does, doesn't it, though?
Yeah, and going in with no expectations. That's pretty much how I approach things nowadays, because I have no expectations that this show or that show will be good.
We don't speak about bebop around here.
That's right, we don't.
It was a slightly awkward way to say it, right? It was just like, by the way, as far as the story, like, don't come in expecting any storiness to it. Like, lower your expectations. It's like, well, let me ask you about your movie. Let me stop you right there. You're already overthinking it.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, sometimes you just don't have to take something so seriously, to the point where, wow, this is just crappy. Well, you know what? Read the manga. You know what? And I would say this to anybody that's listening right now or going to be watching it on the rewind. And as I say that, please hit the like button and share and subscribe and all that kind of jazz. Is that, read the manga first, watch the anime first, just see how fun it's supposed to be. You know what? And then if you want to give the live action a shot, then give the live action a shot. But don't judge it just on, all shows are supposed to be, serious, and this is just dumb. And the way, oh my God, the animation is on this and stuff like that. This is like so unbelievable. It's supposed to be. Because that's the way the story is written. That's the way the anime is. It's supposed to be off the wall humor, with some serious parts in there as well. But this is what manga is. This is what anime is. It's throwing punches at you, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it throws you a left hook, and it's like, oh my God, I didn't expect that whatsoever, right?
Coming out of left field. Here's something new. Here's a new twist.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Something that Hollywood said. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Crazy Pop. Is what the guys. Go ahead. Yeah, Pop. Go ahead.
Okay. No, it's something that Hollywood always fails with when they do an adaptation of an anime franchise. They always fail by not hitting it right, taking it too seriously, or putting their own message into it and deviating so far from the source material that it has no relevance or bearing on source material at all. It's that franchise and name only. There's only been 3 live action anime movies out of Hollywood that I've enjoyed so far. Battle Angel Alita, Speed Racer, and
that was good.
Yeah, Speed Racer was amazing.
Isn't that is that Roland? Is Speed Racer Roland Emmerich, or is it?
No, that's the Wachowski brothers.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And like Stephen Ransom said, Scott Pilgrim did it right.
Yeah,
they did. And and what was the other one there, Pop?
I just
Speed Racer, Alita.
I lost it at the moment. It's like it just slipped my mind. It's like there's something there and it's gone. And it's like there's things coming out on the horizon, but whatever I was thinking of was gone.
Okay. Yeah. I did like Speed Racer. I know it didn't. It wasn't a big box office smash or anything like that, but the colors in it, the way the whole set was with everything, the storytelling. Like, I got the whole point of Speed Racer, and it wasn't just because I watched the anime ages ago.
Those colors, the way the colors just popped off the screen. It's like, I'm inside a live cartoon.
Exactly.
Who are these stars?
These colors.
Was it Christina Ricci and Casper Van Diem?
Yeah. It had her in it. It had Chrissy Ricci, Susan Sarandon, John Goodman, Matthew Fox. He was Racer X.
Yes.
Yeah. It had quite a lot of people. It was good. It was really good. So and the fact that they had the monkey in it too, the chimpanzee in it. It was awesome. It was really good. So they put that in there. They put the chip in. It was awesome. So, but no, it really did make you feel like you were being pulled into the anime. You know,
and it made you care about the characters. It made you care about the kid and his family. They came together as a family. They fought, and they beat the corporation. They beat the bad guys.
Yep, the Titan. Yeah, Speed Racer surprised me. I thought it was going to suck, and I loved it. Yep, exactly, man. That's the way it is. So, and this is what Hollywood is missing. So, as noted above, Medea's took towards One Piece is both strongly counter, is both strongly counter, and a welcome change to Hollywood's usual approach to adapting not just anime but works of any given medium, whether it be comic books, novels, or video games, whether it be Cowboy Bebop or Castlevania, which I still want to check out. Death Note or Doctor Strange, most Western creatives seek to use such properties as nothing more than a vehicle for their own egos, disregarding canon, lore, and even the very words of respective creators in order to put their own stamp on it and to make a name for themselves. Exactly. Not only that, but more often than not, these Hollywood creators are also hoping to subvert and change a given IP as nothing more than revenge against its fans, often treating their projects as little more than a multi-million-dollar star-studded therapy sessions and stuffing them full of cheap insults and bizarre moments of spotlighting their own pet issues. Exactly.
I can testify to that.
Huge problem. That's right.
I can testify to that. I have watched all the new Trek, and I've read all the propaganda, and about half of all episodes are like, this is going to make all the right people angry. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's not the way to make people like your show.
That's right.
My French, but you're an asshole.
So, and that's what they have. That's all they have are just arseholes.
Yeah, it's also coming from the same line of thought. It's like you don't give the fans what they want; you give them what you think they want.
Exactly.
I have morons on my payroll. Morons.
Well, this is why I'm fearing the rumor from Akira's movie. I'm still fearing it because I love that film.
Oh, because of who's attached to it? Yes.
And there's still a rumor. It's been around for years. Robotech is one of my all-time favorites, and there's still a talk of redoing that. I'm like, oh, I'm scared.
The upcoming Gundam live action. I followed that off and on whenever I can find any news on it, and it's no news. I haven't looked for anything in the past month or so I have no idea if there's anything new surrounding the Gundam live action adaptation.
Yeah.
The only good
news it's slated for Netflix, unfortunately.
I don't know, but the only good news that I do have about Robotech is that Harmony Gold and Bandai have set aside their whole, differences, as it were, right? So if anything does come out live action, it'll be the both of them working in harmony, because we know how strict the Japanese are, especially Bandai. Oh my God, they will hammer on anybody that essentially steals their IP. They will come down like the sword of Damocles on any of them, right? So they know that if they say no, it's going to be a hard no whatsoever, right? Yeah.
No followed up with some lawyers, perhaps.
Oh yeah, a lot of lawyers. Yeah, Steven Ransom. Yeah, Speed Racer says logic be damned. Exactly. And you're right, Titan. No, they're not interested in writing. They're They're interested in activism. That's all they do.
Yep.
That's all they want. So
unfortunately.
Yeah. So, this is starting to give me a little bit of hope in this series right here. So,
at some point, these writers heard somewhere, right? Like, I guess, playing a trivia game or something, that Hollywood changed people's attitudes and helped win World War II. And they're like, wow. And they forget for a minute that it was a worthy cause or an unambiguous bad guy, and we were attacked, etc. And they're like, well, if they could win World War II, we could change the world to our weird, wacky, stupid idea that no one wants any part of by making a musical episode of New Trek that'll make all the right people angry. That's no way to
Harmony
change
working
the
in
world.
Harmony Gold.
It's been it's been failing. It's been failing for 10 years now, trying to change the world by rubbing people's faces in the things you don't like about them.
Yeah,
says more about you when you do it.
However, it seems that Maida disagrees with the idea that taking a property and wiping one's backside with it, particularly by reimagining hopeful and optimistic characters in an unnecessary I don't know why I can't read today. In an unnecessarily grim, dark manner is a winning strategy. Taking his words at face value, the showrunner will apparently be pushing back against Hollywood's exhausting obsession with nihilism by genuinely and unironically presenting a story whose protagonist faces each and every situation with hope instead of one who exists sorely out as a megaphone for the liberal arts major deconstruction of the heroic ideal. Thank God.
Yes.
That's
that is well put.
No more deconstruction.
That is really well put, because
and
in
hail
the United
Space Monkey,
States,
if you want activism, go burn a bra by just stop destroying the things I enjoy by writing the stuff into it. Exactly, dude. Exactly. That's right.
Nah, just smile and wave, boys. Smile.
Yeah, no more nihilism, no more deconstruction, no more dark and gritty sides to our favorite characters.
Exactly.
That's nice.
Or at least,
I like that.
At least
what a
lighten up
revolutionary
little bit on it,
idea.
right?
Yeah.
Every bad guys being well motivated is one thing. Bad guys being like morally gray and then pushing the good guys towards morally gray. So it's just like guy with a bad point versus a guy with a worse point. Who do I root for in this contest of villains?
Yeah, exactly. Bland versus Bland. Let me see.
That seems to be right now in Ahsoka. I'm just like, which band of villains do I root for? The female band of apparently Rebel Alliance or whatever, New Republic aligned baddies who are evil, because like we just found out everything about them is evil, bad, and compromise. And turns out the problem with the New Republic government was that it was always bad and it was never good. And it was never good because it was always bad. We're not going to get a reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
Princess Leia just doesn't give a fuck. She's like, yeah, we've re-inherited the Empire. Let's just keep doing status quo. But let's get rid of that Navy and rebuild it with some dumb new ships.
Exactly, right?
Weaker and less.
Yeah. But I mean, we're going to have to see when it comes out. We're going to have to see how good this is. So, because
the guy is saying all the right things.
Yeah, he is.
Because
but we've heard this before.
On Thursday. So in 2 days, this is coming out. 2 days. And we're going to have
interesting. I think
I'm
going to have to check this out. This thing is interesting.
I'm again going to wait and to see what people say that I trust, because I've been burned too many times, especially with some of the franchises we mentioned. And a lot of times I've heard like the Star Trek people, like they're real good at saying, the new Trek people rather, they're real good at saying the right thing. They're like, this is going to be optimistic and upbeat and episodic. And when you watch Strange New Worlds, it's like depressing and like very negative, and it's not episodic. It's like just like simply an installment will end.
Yeah,
like we our modern writing just cannot do an ending, and everyone acts like a teenager. So I guess what's going to come down to is, because there's a writer's strike, this is going to be written out of Japan, and they're not going to give a fuck about our sensibilities. If it's unless it was already done. Was this already finished and it's coming out tomorrow because it was done and it was done here?
Yes, it's coming out this Thursday.
Yeah.
It was made by people from. It was made by Americans or British people or something, right? It's made by people with Western outlooks, so we don't know. It would be good to something on the point.
Hollywood only knows the misunderstood, non-gender specific person of color against the girl, and that's the key to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Gotta say, sadly, you can predict how a story is going to go by doing that. It's like two white guys are trapped in a room and there's a monster coming. It's like, we're both going to die. And one guy like smiles like, nope, I'm gay.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's the key to everything.
Oh my God. You can't have your, you can't kill your gays.
Well, go ahead and be gay if that's your thing. But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
it's made our movies a mite predictable. It's like, okay, like it used to be like they always killed the black guy.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
true.
And that was predictable as well. But now it's
Yeah.
like, like we're supposed to even it out and have people wonder. We're not supposed to just kind of like throw all chance out the window and be like, all right, here's how we're going to do it.
Yep. And that's it.
Much like you're always going
If
to
you're
kill
in
a red shirt.
Well,
Yes.
if you're stuck in a slasher flick and you realize that you're in a slasher flick, immediately cross dress and you'll be safe.
Yeah,
Immediately
it worked in
cross-dress.
Boondock Saints.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
See, so what you're saying is there's a chance.
What do you want me to do? Dress and drag and do the hula? What do you?
That'll be the problem fixer for everything. Yep. Dance and drag and do the hula.
Yeah, it's like, what's Disney's answer for everything?
Oh, God.
Yeah, well, they did it in Jungle Book, dance and drag and do the hula.
Yeah,
the bear basically that Mowgli the bear dances in it with a coconut bra on in the original cartoon.
Oh, okay. Well, no, that's true. That's true. But he was in disguise. He had to look like an orangutan. So that was different. That was a different kind of drag. Yeah, well, that's true too. So yeah,
it was deceptive drag. He wasn't happy with who he was. He was just doing it to accomplish something in the story. It actually had meaning to the story. It wasn't coincidental to everything else.
He was identifying as an orangutan. He was actually a closeted orangutan. That's what it was.
Aren't we all just super monkeys?
That's you know what, and I know they already put the live action Jungle Book out, but you know what? If they were to redo it again, that's how they probably would do it now, right? Oh no, he's actually a closet orangutan. So
that was a relatively high quality live action remake before we got.
It was actually not bad. Yeah,
people liked it before we got to this point where it's just everything's a flaming car wreck.
Yeah,
I mean, snow what, whatever it is. It is just absolutely a lightning rod for problems, and I don't know. It seems like Rachel Zegler spent a whole year just not considering her statements, and now it's just like all coming back at once. And
you
know what?
Goes out there and tries to say some of the most controversial things you can think of.
Yeah.
I don't think they struck her as controversial is the part that really blows my mind. She was like, of course people are going to understand when I call Snow White a terrible movie. Of course people will agree with me.
Yeah.
But I mean, now we got this director here. We got this director that's that actually did the right thing. He did the research. He read it, Stephen Medea, and he did the research. He read the books. Like, he's over, 1,000 chapters right now, and he gets the story, and he's like, oh my God, this is such a great story. This is exactly what I'm going to be putting in the show. This is exactly word for, or maybe not word for word, but this is the kind of feel that I want in the show. And this is, and screw everybody else that adds in their own stupid, message that they want to inject into everything, right? So
that doesn't mean when the money people get their hands on it.
True.
Yeah, it doesn't mean when the money people and the Kathleen Kennedy types get their hands on it. Like, I know this one for a fact. They were just reporting it, and I think it was Hollywood Reporter a few years back. They crowdfunded this last batch of Star Trek stuff out of extremist left-wing Democratic fundraising stuff. So, I mean, if you wanted real progress for these things, they took the money away from the people who would do that for you.
Yeah, more than likely. Ziegler trolling since 2019. So
I don't get how she felt this way. I'm confused by I guess they told her to say these things and she overdid it. Like she was those like, let's motivate our star, and like they over motivate her. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna go out there and get him.
Totally, that could be.
It's like just go out there and speak your mind. People agree with you.
Yeah, you know what it reminds me of? Can I be honest? You know what this is exactly like?
What?
Moses Ingram's ordeal, right? And I don't really blame that much of it on Moses Ingram, because what happens? Like, before we hear there's an Obi-Wan show, the first thing we heard is there's going to be an Obi-Wan show, and we already know that you bigots out there are going to have a problem with our character.
Oh, yeah.
Before we never heard of the character, right? There you go. I have that.
That's how we felt.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and that's how we felt.
Just come right out and start insulting the fans, insulting the target audience, and then you act surprised as to why the show doesn't do as well.
Yeah, how come nobody likes me? You know,
you said it exactly right. You said
Snow
it exactly
Brown
right.
and the 7 baristas will be will be a triumph.
I
think dumpster fire.
I think Doomcock is onto something with they might just kill that in the womb right now because of how horrible the reaction is and the fact that it's only like 30% made or something like that. I think good chance it ends up a Disney TV thing, or they just pull the plug. There's still time to just walk away from this.
They could just pull the plug and walk away from it and write it off their taxes. I mean, it's Snow Brown and the community theater rejects.
I call it Snow Enough, but yeah, close enough.
Well, there was talks that they wanted to release the trailer, which they did recently. They supposedly they wanted to see how it did, and then they'll go from there. And it bombed bad, so they still might not go ahead with it.
There was something just wrong about like redoing that the way they did it, and we know that they want to sell these new movies, but like going after your own old product, it's really fucked up. It's like saying like these are 2023 quarters, 2021 quarters. Really, what are they worth? But 15 cents these days. It's like, what are you saying? Don't put that shit out there.
No.
Yeah,
Disney has a back catalog. Yeah, Disney has a back catalog of classic animated movies, and there's plenty of room there for them to go and make each one a live action adaptation and put their new spin on it and attack the fans.
You know what would be better? You know what would be better, honestly? And it's been suggested on other places and in other streams. Why doesn't Disney get a vice president of re-releases and have celebratory, Snow Brown was 1938. That means it's 75 years ago. Clean up that soundtrack, polish up that print, make the best, most poppin' version you can, put it out there again, and have some dude celebrating the fuck out of it. Like 75 years ago, we made this movie that was absolutely just something that everyone had, or 85 years ago, we made this amazing work of art. Check it out. It's called Snow White. We know you're going to love it.
Yes.
I mean, instead of this chick like, listen, they fucked up. It's accidentally Yahtzee propaganda. You're going to be a pleasure boater if you see the original. It's like I went and saw Snow What instead of Snow White, and it was underwhelming and boring. So that's why I don't want to be a pleasure boater. I don't want to be a Yahtzee. I don't want to end up on Lake Mead in a small Boston whaler. I'm going to stay away from the original Snow White because it's bad.
Yeah. No,
Rachel Ziegler told me.
Yeah, exactly.
There's just so much wrong with it.
I got my cues from Jennifer.
I've said this before. I'll say it again. You know what movie I want? I want Watergate, starring Whoopi Goldberg as Nixon with Eva Longoria as Henry Kissinger.
Yeah, that'll go so well.
Allegedly,
who did the Jerusalem Accords.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. Now that we've made it all women, are they allowed to be wrong? Do we now have to make a Watergate story that presents Nixon as being correct? Whoopi Goldberg, it's the people from a certain Middle Eastern ethnicity, Henry. It's them. They're all out to get me, Henry. Come with me to worship an owl. Whoopi? Okay, Guinan. I mean, Richard.
Jeez.
Guys, I got news for you. Guinan ain't too cool.
No, not really. No, I'll give it that much. Oh God, she's just
but I mean, that's where it's heading, right? Because we found out that League of Their Own couldn't be diverse enough. They made a League of Their Own, and it's gone because it wasn't woke enough. Holy shit!
Exactly. And I think they want to redo it again as a miniseries on TV or streaming or something like that.
Something like that.
Maybe, you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe if they put together the strands of a story and have almost enough for like a TV movie, they will try to do that with like a SAG waiver because there's just nothing else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there was a Law and Order show made only for cable. I think it was called Criminal Intent. And the last writer's strike had that one on regular TV for a long time, like 3-4 years.
Yep. See,
till it finally moves off to cable, where I think USA CBS, isn't it?
See, I mean, in a world where Hollywood is literally dying from diversity, equity.
Oh wait, so you mean this world?
Yeah, this world. You know, it's nice that we finally have like, you know, some sort of director that's actually speaking some sense and that actually gets it. It's like, look, we can't keep on doing this. Stay true to the material. This is what fans have been just saying forever and ever. Stay true to the material. Don't race swap. Don't gender swap. Don't origin swap. Don't do any kind of swapping whatsoever. And we'll get along just fine. That's it. That's all. That's all we're asking for, right? Because I had this discussion. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No.
Oh no. I'm saying, but if you don't do that, then you're this or you're that. You're some kind of phobic or whatever.
Right.
Why?
Exactly.
No,
Carla, you just made it.
Hey, Carla. Yeah. No, the more they go down this route, the more they push people to look for an entertainment like your K-dramas, your Bollywood, your whatever, your BBC TV shows from yesteryear. I mean, there's plenty of other outlets for televised entertainment, for quality movies. We could just leave Hollywood there to wither on the vine and die.
It's true. It is. You know. Ooh, and I just saw some breaking news. It looks like there's might be a possible time frame as to when Kathleen Kennedy will be exiting as president of Lucasfilm. So
wow,
yeah,
so that's actually happening. Now
that it's possible
she
could be that she could be possibly retiring. It looks like what might be October.
Yeah, it's the 57th of October.
Yeah, exactly.
We have a date. We have a date. October 38th. No, I mean, like, I hope so. Like, you would think that this would happen, but if things went down like they said, right? Like, and I tend to think Doomcock was probably right. But so if Doomcock was right when he was right, this fits in when I felt like they would let us know. Like, if they fired her, even if it was the most contentious thing ever, because of the amount of money involved, and because even though she's a bad filmmaker, she might not technically be insane. I figured we'd find out Labor Day, October, something like
that.
Because they would never just say it because they already had earnings calls. It wasn't going to help that were too soon. You know what I mean? But now, you can have and doesn't October start a new financial quarter? Right?
It does.
I do believe
so. It's good timing. Wow. But it's
we've
bad
unloaded
timing.
Salary.
Yeah. It's bad timing for us fans because we're looking at it going, what's left? Everything has been burned to the ground. We're looking at the ashes of Star Wars. We're looking at the ashes of Indiana Jones. We're looking at the ashes of Marvel. What
DCR is the
left?
Shooter McGavin. He's the Shooter McGavin of Disney.
Neurons on my payroll!
Disney is Shooter McGavin. So why do you want to buy Star Wars? Do you want to make a movie? No, I don't want to make a movie. I want to burn it so I can piss on the
Where do you
ashes.
think that bird came from? Or so help me!
What's left?
My God.
What's left? What does Disney have left?
I'm going to be very honest with you. You know what's left?
Firefly.
No, you know what? I think the reason why people keep holding on is because if we walk away from everything, and we go to a planet and we just have a kindly grandfatherly type guy teaching some kind of youthful individual how to use the Force and what's right and what's wrong, and gives them a lightsaber that we don't have to see a TIE fighter, a Star Destroyer. We might not even need a space battle. They could be a sand person level threat. Just don't do it on Tatooine, please. Not Tatooine. I've had enough. Go to a jungle planet, something like that. Dagobah.
No more
Dagobah's
sand.
fine.
No
One
more
story
sand.
about what, and you know what? Since Order 66 was a complete and total and utter failure now, but only people who die on screen, not even the younglings were hurt. Reva proves that. Order 66, a joke. Hail Carla Burton in the chat, our good friend.
Lightsabers do not kill people.
No. Yeah, so since that's all already happened, what you do is you put a Jedi and their protege on a planet, and like somewhere in there, like instead of the traditional Star Wars opening crawl, you have like a flashback to Order 66 where you see all these horrors, and like you see our hero younger listening to it over like a subspace radio, and he's like pulls an Obi-Wan, I can't listen anymore, and he turns it off. He's like, I'll bring the Force to a part of the galaxy where they've never heard of the Empire, and I'll help. I'll help, and I'll do what's right because that's the Jedi code. I can't help the Jedi here. And he leaves our continuity, and he fights whoever he fights. Exar Kun, perhaps. I don't know. Anybody but the people that we're used to hanging out with. No Darth Revan. None of this shit. No High Republic. He leaves with one protege, or he creates a protege, or somebody loses their family, and he grudgingly helps some ad hoc family in the style of Temple of Doom, and we grow the story of one Jedi, because that's all we need. Because if you define Star Wars, if you take Skywalker out of it, what it is the story of friendship, sacrifice, mentoring, and love, and maybe some supernatural elements as well. Because what we have here is a King Arthur in space. It's more of a fantasy than sci-fi. Star Trek is the sci-fi one. Star Wars,
classic hero's journey.
Very much. You watch Excalibur, you're going to see a lot of stuff that's in all three of the OT Star Wars movie woven through that one long, really good movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Take
Except
your father's sword.
Of course he died.
He
was a cisgender white male.
When things, I will say, I will say this. I applaud Qui-Gon for having the courage to die and staying dead for a good long time before he comes back. And now he sucks. Right. It's not Qui-Gon, it's Disney's Qui-Gon.
Well, that being said,
if you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits?
That means anything goes, and that means we gotta bring the show to an end. So, Admiral Teague, what do you got to plug, my friend?
Oh my God. My name is Admiral Teague, and you may remember me from chasing around the adventure of a certain bald space robot. My show's called Saving Star Trek. My channel's called Admiral Teague. I'm going to throw my link in the chat so you can sub me. I celebrate old Star Trek. Oh, thank you. We celebrate old Star Trek. We review the new Trek, and we tell you what's going on because we find out that there is probably an appetite for it. We don't approve of it, and we don't think it's Star Trek, but we do bring you the new Trek as well because someone's got to call it out. And you can catch me around on shows like this and on my own show, Saving Star Trek. Link in the description.
There we go. Oh, excuse me. Pop Culture Republic. What wares must you peddle?
Okay. Well, Pop Culture Republic, my channel name. I talk about just about anything and everything pop culture related. Movies, TV shows, comic books, novels. My next live stream, I do believe I'm going back to my comic book roots and chat about Image comics from back in the day. Some of the things that I kind of enjoyed about them at the time when I was selling them at a comic book store I was working at way back in the day. And I've talked plenty about Valiant, but now I'm going to touch on Valiant, on Image, and some of the things I liked about them. So that will be sometime this week as my scheduling allows.
It's hard to believe it's been 30 years of Image now.
I know.
It has been. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Nuts. So, Jeez. And Valiant has been up and down, but Valiant was pretty good too, man.
Yeah, Valiant's down to like publishing one book a month.
I know.
They're trying to cling on and stay relevant and yell at everybody, "Hey, we're still here. We're only
you
putting out
can't
one book a
entertain
month."
people if you fold. You can't entertain people if you fold, right? Make it a good book. Put all your efforts into it. Make it turn a profit. It's capitalism. You can still find a market for your product. People are looking for good stories. And then down the line, you plan, a comeback. You have time now to write those stories, guys. You're
they
not
can
gone.
be bought out by yet somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Multiple owners.
Hold on out into the night, guys. Hold on out into the night. Do not give up. Never give up. Never surrender.
Just smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Find your brains. What do you have into the mix, my dear sir?
Same old, same old. I've added a new segment to the channel, though, where I used to be a streamer as well. I don't have time to do that right now, so I've added, if anybody remembers Let's Plays, years ago, they would actually have the gaming on the channel, the recording, so I called it the 420 Gaming Sesh. I've just been doing some old Red Dead Redemption 2, where the re-release of Red Dead Redemption just came out. And it's just fun to ride around on the back of a horse. People are chill or just relaxing, just see the beautiful scenery, and that's about it. I've added that part to the rest of the weirdness that I release on that channel.
Nice. Awesome stuff.
Cool.
Let's see. And I want to thank everybody that has shown up in the chat today, because I really, really appreciate everybody that comes in lately. It just seems like more and more, we just got lots more people just, coming into the chat, and it's been really great. And I really appreciate everybody that's been dropping in and chatting away and whatnot. It really means a lot to me. It actually really does. So I want to thank Killer Rabbit from space that has been showing up lately. Greatly appreciate it. And Christian Delorme, fellow Canuck. And we had Penny that also dropped by. And Penny, I know you had to sit down or lie down and take a nap, but thank you very much for dropping by. Missed you greatly. And we had our illustrious Stark of Iron show up. And unfortunately, he had to go back to work and whatnot. Oh, yes, that's right. And we also had Lenrod on the panel as well. So I'll try to find his YouTube link and put it into the chat as well. And we had John Rendell that also joined in. Hail to you, Fez brother, that joined in. And also we had Gap After Dark. Hail Gap After Dark. And on top of that, we also had, scrolling down the chat and all that kind of good stuff, we had Jack Lumen that also dropped in. Thanks, Jack, for dropping in. Greatly appreciate you being here as well. And we had Dadman Walking, whose channel has just exploded. Him and Mrs. Dadman. Yeah, it's really, really amazing. So, good on Dadman and Mrs. Dadman that are really building up a fun channel. Just, it's a great hangout channel is what it is. So, and of course, we have Stephen Ransom that always joins in the chat. And hail to you, Stephen Ransom, and thanks for being here as well, buddy. And the Mighty Titan that joins in as well. Great to see you here, bud. It's great to see also Carla Burton. I know you showed up late, and it's great to see you here anyway, because we all love you here as well. And you're a ray of sunshine on an otherwise cloudy day. So, and it's great to have you all in the chat. I really, really appreciate it, guys.
And one last note before you let them go: if anybody hasn't, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, because it's well worth it. I trust you.
Exactly. Thanks, bud. I really, really appreciate it. So,
sharing is caring, as they say.
Exactly. And this is the only way that we build up all of our channels. And, together, it's the way we have a voice and really make the industry know that, hey, we're not okay with this kind of stuff. Maybe if you follow this kind of lead.
Not go quietly to the night.
Exactly. Because today is our Independence Day. Because otherwise, we're just going to be
Pardon
saying,
my French, but you're an asshole.
you know, because that's the way it's going to go otherwise, right? So
And
from
there's
everybody
Lenrod's
here,
link in the chat.
there we go. Yes. Awesome, dude. Thanks. So, yes, and that's exactly right, Stephen. This is how we win. Deleted scenes, exactly.
Deleted scenes, that's right.
Yep. So from everybody here in the chat to, or I should say from everybody here on the chat, from everyone here on the panel to everybody out there in the chat, yes, please please subscribe, share the show everywhere because, I suppose in a few more weeks we'll be hitting show number 50. So it's hard to believe that I've been doing this insane craziness for 50 shows on a Tuesday. So that's pretty nuts.
Wow.
So yeah, I know, right? It's amazing I haven't lost
Hey,
my collective mind by now.
I forgot to say, really quickly, sorry. I'll be back on Thursday. We're gonna watch Yellowstone in the afternoon.
Ooh, awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna have but we're thinking the 1923 version of the show.
Ooh, okay. So you're starting literally from the beginning.
No, we're going backwards because 1923 is the most recent one. But here's the thing: I think it might be the most watchable that will get us into the other ones because, damn, I can't get over Harrison Ford is in it and he's acting, and it's the first time I've seen him try to act in I don't know how long. He's not just bypass the compressor.
That is crazy because normally he just goes through the motions and gets a paycheck.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, this is totally he's dedicated to trying to deliver on this role. It's not Kylo, your mom
he
and I
might actually
he's not
care
pulling up a
about
card.
the role then.
I'm a memery ghost.
Yeah. And Carla says, I really enjoyed your Frantic Friday. So thanks, Carla. I really appreciate it. So we'll try to do another Friday. It seems to work out well doing the whole end of the week kind of thing. So
yeah, it is pretty cool.
So it was pretty fun. So we'll definitely do it again. So from everybody here out in the panel to all of you out in the chat, thank you very much for joining in. Stick around for a Thursday video, and and we'll do a Frantic Friday, end of the week kind of whole report. So thanks all for joining in, and we shall see you soon.
Bye.
Later.
We'll see you
later, everyone.
Thursday for
Bye-bye.
1923.